Okay, now we're going to talk about the textures and materials. So select your word and let's go to the properties panel. We're going to go near the bottom to this red circle that when you hover over it will say material. And by default, our word doesn't have any settings at all, so we'll need to add those by clicking new. So when you look at these settings, we have a few things that we're going to adjust. Most of these we're going to leave alone. First, we're going to look at the base color. If you click on this white rectangle, this will allow us to pick a color for our word. So you can pick the color, you can pick how light or dark that color is. I'm just going to go with a simple blue color. So I like that. Next, we have metallic. In real life and in 3D modeling, there are basically two categories of objects. You have things that are metal and everything else. A simple explanation, things that are metal tend to reflect their color and highlights. So gold makes things kind of look like a gold reflection when you look at the surface of gold, whereas most other objects reflect the colors that an object is. So if you have a marble floor, it's going to reflect the colors of whatever light's hitting it without changing those colors. But gold will actually tint or shade or tint those colors so it reflects back with a goldish tint. But for us, you can either have it off at 0, or if you want it to look like metal, you turn it up to 1. I don't have a preference, but you don't really do anything in between to make it look realistic. You can do in between, but typically you want it on or off. So at the moment, I have it set to be a metallic material. The third thing we're going to look at is roughness. The less roughness you have, the more perfect the reflection. Now, in our world, we have 3 lights and nothing else, pitch black. So the metal is going to reflect those lights at key places, and then there's nothing else to reflect. So you don't really see anything. If you turn the roughness up, you start to see the blue color because the surface of our text has imperfections and light bounces off in imperfect ways. So if I turn the roughness up all the way to 1, you really don't have any reflections because light is bouncing off so unevenly. Typically, somewhere in the middle will give you the best results. If you want it to be a bit more matte, where it doesn't look as glossy, you can have higher numbers. If you want it to be a bit more glossy like metal, you can pull it down a little bit like shiny metal, smooth metal. Now, if you want it to be more like a plastic, you can turn the metallic off and then play with the roughness and get more of a plastic material. But I'm going to stick with the metal, and I'm going to go to like 0.6 maybe. That way I can see the colors clearly, but it has a bit of reflectiveness. And that will finish setting up the material for our object. Go ahead and go to File and Save. In the next video, we're going to talk about setting the location of the camera and doing some animation.